Welcome to Let's Assess, a series that looks at why video games are good or bad. This time, it's Devil May Cry, or the DMC reboot.
DMC is a much loved hack and slash game that had its start on the PS2. The mechanics of the game are simple. Kill everything. Killing enemies gives the player points. However, the player will get less points if they use the same method of dispatching enemies repeatedly, prompting the player to get creative with the combat moves they have. And this is where our good friend Roger Calwa comes in. The concept of making the player have to change what's comfortable to them adds an extra challenge on top of the infinite hordes of enemies, increases the agon, or challenge factor. On top of that, there are scorecards and winning systems at the end of every level, adding to the challenge of the game. The Alea, or chance aspect, comes from the chance of dying at any point. Usually when playing, players can become so engrossed with getting the style points and combos that they don't notice their health slowly draining until it's too late. Mimicry comes from the character that the player controls, which is usually Dante. However, there are instances where the players can have taken control of antagonist Virgil or even Nero in Devil May Cry 4. And finally, aliens, or distortion, comes from the surreal enemies that the player faces, as well as the game-changing special moves they can pull off.
Going on from this, it's very easy to see how battles theory can be applied. The game is made entirely for the killer and achiever player types. The game's levels are designed for very minimal exploration. There aren't any major social aspects to the game as it is all single player based, the only social aspect being leaderboards. The end of level assessments will appeal to those who want to achieve the best possible score they can in the best time they can. Finally, we have Csikszentmihalyi's theory of flow. Flow in DMC can be induced from the repetition of the gameplay. By repeating the gameplay but gradually making it harder and more streamlined will help put the player in a better state of flow, which in turn will be harder to break, keeping the player playing for longer.
Are there any sort of theories that apply to the idea of your character progressing through playthroughs and becoming better with better weapons and upgrades and all that kind of stuff?
There's no new theories to that. It is explained through the player's desire to achieve greater, so it's basically it's a challenge aspect from Calwa, and it's also an achiever aspect from Battle, because if you think about it, the player gets to the end of the first playthrough that they do and they realise, hang on a second, my character isn't fully upgraded, so once they finished it, it'll say, do you want to start New Game Plus or do you want to start again with your character? And they'll go, oh okay, and then they start again. They realise that the more they play through, the better the character can get, and that'll want to hopefully push them to make the character the highest upgraded it possibly can be, like fully upgraded. So they'll end up playing it through and through and through on higher and higher difficulties each time, so that they then don't get bored of playing it over and over again. But at the same time, they're fulfilling their need to achieve.
What about the unique kind of difficulty settings, like the Heaven and Hell one, or Heaven and Heaven, where enemies die in one hit, but you also die in one hit?
Actually, that's more of trying to keep the game interesting, and it goes on to the challenge aspect in Calwa as well, because it's changing up how the game, or how the player believes the game's played. It's also distortion if you think about it, because they'll select this setting and they'll go in and they'll be like, oh okay, I die in one hit. Oh look, the enemies die in one hit as well. Well, this is going to be interesting, and it kind of distorts how they originally perceived the game, so it'll make them adapt to this new playstyle essentially. And having multiple variations of these difficulty settings, so say they have one where it's on the hardest difficulty it can be, but they'll change the order in which enemies spawn. That then changes how, if the player's played it through so many times that they know how which enemy's going to come where, that then throws them off guard when they're expecting one enemy to come out and then for another one to come out that they weren't expecting. And then say you said the Heaven and Heaven difficulty setting, there's also the Heaven and Hell one, which is above that, where the player character dies in one hit, but all of the enemy characters have normal health, and that's it's just constantly changing as well. It's constantly changing how the player plays. So in the case where Heaven and Heaven, if they were to play the Heaven and Heaven mode, it would be, I'd think, because I haven't played that mode yet, it'd be kind of like how I would play Dark Souls. You'd run in, but if you die, you know it's because you messed up. So you're not scared to go in and take risks, but at the same time, you kind of are, especially if you died because of a stupid reason. Whereas in the Heaven and Hell mode, where the player dies in one hit and nothing else does, that would probably make the player more defensive. So they'd probably rush in, hit, rush back, out of the way, rush back in, hit, rush back, out of the way, so that they won't get hit. Because in the Devil May Cry games, there's no defense system; it's more of just dodging. So it's a lot of fast-paced moving about, and yeah, it's just a case of keeping the player on the toes and changing how they would perceive and play the game. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please look out for the next 2 that are going to be coming out very, very soon, probably straight after this one or at the same time as this one. So see you then.